Hello, my name is Garnet, and I have created this small handbag in crochet. It has a nice little strap that's made with a technique called Romanian braid. The back is used of the moss stitch. The tutorial includes the appliques, as you see here on the flap. Let's get started. Let's begin our tutorial. For this tutorial, we'll be using a tapestry needle, our scissors, a size 9mm hook or size M13, an ornamental figurine. This will be for the flap. And the yarn that I'm using, Red Heart Super Saver in the color Guava, Red Heart Super Saver in the color Rogue, Red Heart Super Saver in the color White. To begin, we're going to be joining all 3 yarns at the same time. Let's start with a slip knot. And then pull your loop close to your hook. And we're going to chain 17. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll meet you at 17. After we've completed our 17 chains, we're going to hold our chain up in front of us. The loops or the bumps are in the back. We don't count the loop on the hook. Here's the first chain and the second chain. In the second chain, make 1 single crochet. And continue to make single crochets in each chain going down. Be sure to pick up all 3 of the yarns for your coloring. You don't want to skip any. Do a total of 15 15 single crochets, and I'll meet you down here at the end. You'll notice that we do have 1 chain left. In this last chain, single crochet, chain 1, in the same hole, single crochet, chain 1. Now take the knot and pull it over to your other side, and when you bring the hook in, make sure that the knot is on the other side of your working yarn, which is this one right here. And do 1 more single crochet. So in this corner we had single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Now we're going to single crochet on the other side. This time you want to go through both of these loops right here and do a single crochet. continue down till you get down here to the last one, and I'll meet you there. We just completed 14 single crochets to this point. So in this stitch right here, we're going to do a single crochet. That would be number 15. Now chain 1, and in the same spot where we did number 15 at, single crochet, chain 1. Now into the first single crochet after we made our chain, we did our first single crochet, we skipped that chain 1. We're going to go ahead and put a single crochet in there. And this is what we have so far. I love the colors. So let's continue on. We're going to single crochet in each single crochet till we get to the next rounded corner. So here's 1. I will count with you on this row. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. After we get to number 15, you want to chain 1, and we're going to put the hook in the next stitch and single crochet. I think that was our chain 1 from the previous row. Chain 1, and in this one we're going to slip stitch. This gives us a nice balanced oval. This will be the bottom. Let's continue on. Chain 1. Now we're going to be going into the back loops of our single crochet, and where your chain 1 is at, I should have recommended it at the beginning, and I'm sorry I didn't, but I like for you to place a stitch marker. You could even use a piece of yarn if you wanted to. This will remind you if that's where you stopped and started at. So in the back loop only, you'll see here we got our front loop still showing, so in that back loop, just a single crochet. Going to our next stitch, just that back loop. That's a single crochet. Do that in each stitch, even around, no chains, just all single crochet all the way around, and I'll meet you back at our chain 1 where we put our stitch marker. I wanted to add this in as we're going around, that you notice that it will pull up a little. That's okay, because we will pull it back down when we're ready to start doing our sides and stuff. So as this cups around the corners, that's okay. Just keep right on going. I am closing in to where I placed my stitch marker. So let's do what we need to do to finish this very first row. So I've done the single crochets all the way up to the end. I'm going to take out my stitch marker. And where I place that stitch marker, I'm going to pull up both of these strands, not one because we've already have that one there. So pull up both of these strands. It will be a little snug, and we're going to do a slip stitch. And that'll complete this round. I'm going to pause the video for just a second and give you a count of how many single crochets I did. My count of single crochets in the back loop was 40, and then the slip stitch. So let's start the sides of our bag. Chain 1, and in the same space, which will be a little snug. I know I'm not going to be a fan of yours today, huh? Go ahead and do a single crochet in that first space. There we go. Single crochet. Chain 1. Now skip this first stitch, and in the second stitch, do another single crochet. Chain 1. Skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next. For those of you that are familiar with a lot of crochet, this is going to be called the moss stitch. It's been a pretty popular stitch in other forms of crochet, such as plan pooling or making scarves. It gives out a very nice small brick look. So let's continue on. We finished our single crochet, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and in the next stitch, single crochet, and chain 1. Skip the next stitch, single crochet, chain 1. Go all the way around till you get to where you can see the rise for where you stopped and started at, and I'll meet you there and show you how to continue on. As you can see, I'm getting close to where my first single crochet of that new row is. But we're going to cheat a little. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. But what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet in the next single crochet, or the next stitch. Make sure you do your chain 1. Let me make sure I did that. Yes, I did. Okay, so we'll single crochet in the next stitch. Now, we are not going to do a slip stitch. We're going to chain 1, and that's going to take us over this. So as we do our bag, it's going to be continuous. So our chain stitch will go over that single crochet. Now what you're going to be doing now is every time you have a chain 1 space, you're going to be placing a single crochet in there. So we've done this single crochet, we chained 1, we're going to skip this first single crochet with the chain 1 and the slip stitch and all that other stuff that's under there, and we're going to place a single crochet in this chain 1 space right here. And this will make it so that it'll all balance out. Okay, now your pattern is going to start emerging here. We're going to skip the next stitch, and in the chain 1 space here, see where this is the chain 1, we're going to do our single crochet. remember to always do a chain one after you do your single crochet. Otherwise it'll pull and it won't look right. So skip the single crochet in the next chain one space, single crochet, chain one. So the pattern of this is single crochet, chain one. Well, let's do it just better this way so you can remember it correctly. Single crochet, chain one, skip the next stitch in the chain one space, single crochet. And that is our repeat. I'm going to be doing this for quite a number of rows. Not exactly sure right now. So however long you choose to make yours is up to you. But this is just a small handbag. And we will make it however tall you want it. It's going to be a good size for the child that I am intending for this to be for. So they can hide their little treasures in here, and there'll be enough room, and it'll be solid enough for them. You don't have to put any stabilizing, no plastic or anything, because you don't want to add additional stuff for children. So let's continue on with our stitching. I will show you progressively how I'm doing in this as I go along. So remember, the whole thing is single crochet, chain one, skip a stitch, single crochet in the next chain one space. So when you come around here where we went up, all you have to do is keep on doing the single crochet and chain one. And I'll show you my progress as I go along. See? I wanted to show you what the progress is so far. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows so far. And you can see the little basket weave look in here. And it's giving a nice rounded side. To give measurements, if you measure it flat, it's about 9 inches wide. Or let's give centimeters here. 23 centimeters. I have completed 13 rows so far on this, and I've determined that this was where I jumped up on that first row. So I am going to finish this row with a slip stitch. But first I have the chain one, so I'm going to single crochet, and then in the next stitch on top of that single crochet I'm going to slip stitch. And I'm going to leave a little tail here, probably about 8 to 10 inches long, so I can weave it in. On the wrong side here. And let me show you how to do that. I'm going to take my needle and place the needle up underneath the taunt yarns, pull them down tight, and with those folded edges work it through the opening of the eye of the needle. Makes it easy to load it that way. Then this is the inside of the bag. I'm going to go ahead and start weaving through the centers of the single crochets. It will be a little tight because of the 3 yarns that we're working with. I'm going to pull it down tight enough so it'll pull that slip stitch into the wrong side of the tote or the bag here. Now, where my yarn came out, I want to go over the 3 stitches and go back the other direction. And then pull any uneven ones. Pull it back a little, and then I'm going to continue on just a little bit further down. Like I said, it will be a little tight, and then I'm going to pull it so that the stitch will ease, and then go over the top of those stitches and then weave back in. And then pull it back and go ahead and cut. Now, our little bag here, let me pull my camera up a little. Little bag here, height-wise, measures 6 inches from here to where we did the back loop single crochets. We're going to do the strap next. To begin our handle, we're going to use all 3 colors, and you want to leave probably about 10 or 12 inches, and this will be used to sew this end of the strap or the band to the purse. So leave a long amount of yarn here. Then go ahead and let's make our slip knot. So yarn over, crisscross it, go through the center and go under and pull it through, and you got yourself a little loop here. Pull it tight, and let's tighten the loop on the hook. Not too tight, because for our first round we want it to be somewhat loose. Okay, chain 2, 1, 2. And in our first chain, we're going to make 1 single crochet. So take it and you're going to turn it towards your left. Now you see this little cross bar here? We're going to put the hook underneath all 3 of those yarns, and we're going to make a slip stitch. So you're going to go through both the loop and the loop that was on the hook. And we're going to turn it again in the same direction. So since I'm right-handed, we want to turn it towards our left. Now you notice that we have 2 bars here. Take your hook and go under the first one and the second one. Be sure to pull up all the colors so that you don't have any snag behind. And then pull up a loop after you go through those 2 bars right there. And now we're going to complete a single crochet. I think you're going to like the look of this, and you're going to see how simple this is also. So let's turn it again. Now there's our 2 bars. Let's go ahead and put the hook under both of those bars. Remember, you're working with 6 strands of yarn there. Pull up a loop, just stop right there. Keep that loop on the hook still there. Now we're going to finish as if it was a single crochet. Can you see the braid that's starting to look out of it already? Turn it again. This is our repeat, continuing on underneath all of those strands. Pull up a loop and complete your single crochet. Turn your work under those bars. Pull up a loop. Whoops, I snagged one. There we go. And pull up a loop and then complete your single crochet. Kind of cool, huh? I'll show you my progress as I go along, but you will keep on doing this till you have your strap or your band for your bag as long as you want it. Let's review one more time. We got the 2 bars here. We're going to go underneath our 6 strands. There are 3 colors each. Going to pick up a loop right here and complete our single crochet. And turn. You know, when you turn the camera on is when it starts messing up on you. You can always do it without the camera. There we go. And I'll show you my progress in a few minutes. Here's some of my progress. It looks nice, nice braid, and it is reversible. Let me show you what it looks like next to the purse or the little handbag here. I think it looks good. Let's continue on with our little strap. I have completed approximately 26 inches for my strap here. Super long. It took me probably about a half an hour to do, but I wanted to show you how to finish it off. You want to turn it over and go through the loops as before. And instead of drawing up a loop, you want to take your loop and go through the loop that was on your hook. And that will complete it. For the end, you want to have a long tail as before, so that we can sew it on to our bag. So there we have the end, and here we have the other end. So here's our finished strap. Next we'll be going on to adding a flap for our purse or our handbag here, and let's get started with that. So as we go on to do our flap, we're going to use the 2 strands of the white. So we're going to be pulling from the center as well as from around the outside of the skein. You'll want to pull quite a bit out. You can do it as you go along. And so let's get ready to start with this. I'm going to leave a short tail on this, and we're going to make our slip knot We'll still be using the 9mm size hook. So we're going to grab our purse, our little handbag, and you want to make sure that the sides are folded in, and we're going to fold it so that the front is now down, and we're going to pick up from where that fold is, count back 2 stitches, and we're going to pick up that first set of double across the top. Start off with a single crochet, and we'll do another single crochet in each stitch. That includes the chain stitch and the single crochet stitch of the previous rows, and we will stop right here at this end of our other corner, and I'll meet you there. I have 18 single crochets across the back flap. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. For this row, we're going to do all half double crochets. So we should have 18 half double crochets when we get to the other end. So yarn over, insert it into our stitch, bring up a loop, and bring your hook through all 3. I have 2, and 3. Continue across until you get here. You should have 18 half double crochets. After you've counted and you have 18 half double crochets, chain 1 and turn your work. We're going to do 18 half double crochets again for this row and a second row. I'll meet you after you've completed the 2 rows of half double crochets. After completing the 2 rows of the half double crochets, our next row will be of a V-stitch. So let's chain 2, turn our work over, and in the first double, or the first half double crochet hole here, we're going to go ahead and place our V-stitch. So we'll do a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in the same stitch. We're going to skip the next stitch, and in the second stitch we'll place another V-stitch, which will be double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. After completing the 2 rows, we're going to move on to our next row. Chain 3 and turn your work. In our first stitch, we'll do 1 double crochet, pull up a loop, go through 2, go through 2. We will skip 2 stitches, and in the next stitch we'll do a V-stitch, which is a double crochet, chain 1, and in the same space a double crochet. Skip 2 stitches, and we'll do another V-stitch, chain 1. So we're doing a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip 2 stitches, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. We have a few stitches left. Skip 2 stitches, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, skip 2 stitches, and in the next stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Here at the end, we're going to skip 1 stitch, and we're going to place a double crochet and a second double crochet in the same stitch. Chain 1 and turn your work. I'm going to admit my count will be a little off for this next row. So in order to make it correct so that we have 18 stitches across here, we're going to skip this first stitch. So chain 2, and we're going to do a half double crochet in the second stitch, and then in the next stitch, and then in the chain 1 space. So you'll be going over the top of these 2 double crochets and into the chain 1 space. When you get to the end, I will meet you there. You'll notice that I put 1 half double crochet in the chain 3 space here. So let's chain 1 and turn. In this row, we're going to do the 18 half double crochets again. I've come to the end of my row. I have 17 so far, so in this chain space, I'm going to add my last half double crochet. Chain 1, and let's turn our work again. This is what we have so far. Let me show you what it looks like on my bag. See how it folds over nicely. So let's continue on. Okay, we're going to do another row of half double crochets here, and I'll meet you at the end. Make sure you have 18. For our next row, we're going to chain 3, turn our work, we're going to skip the first 2 stitches here, and we'll do our double crochet, our half double crochet. Half double crochet up to the third, 1, 2, 3, the third stitch from the end. So you want to stop here at the 4th one, and I will meet you there. As you can see that we have created a decrease in this row. So here I am, 1, 2, 3 at the 4th from the end. And now I'm going to create a double crochet stitch that will go directly into the last stitch. And that will pull it in like it pulls in here at the other side. So let's chain 1 and turn our work. Let's add 1 more chain. We're going to skip this first one and skip this second one and into the third one, half double crochet, and continue our half double crochets across. I'm going to go a little quick now because I know you know how to do half double crochets, but I think my yarn doesn't want to cooperate. The yarn and I had a discussion. Of course, the yarn lost, but I'm sure it will pull a fast one on me. And that way it usually works, especially when you're on camera. Okay, so we're going to have 1, 2, 3 from the end, and of course we're going to do a double crochet onto the top of that chain stitch, and that'll help pull it over like we did on the other row. There we go. Now you're probably thinking, ooh, those sides look ugly. Do not fret. We're not finished yet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 half double crochets along with our chain 2 and our double crochet on the other end. We're going to stop this round, so let's cut our yarn and pull our end through. So this is what we have so far. Little decorative V-stitch here. The rest are half double crochets. Let's go ahead and do an edging around it. So with the flap, there's the opening with the flap back looking at you. I'm going to go ahead and go into that stitch on the bag. And we're going to slip stitch into that one. Okay, after you slip stitch, go ahead and you see how this loop is kind of big? Let's go ahead and pull that tight. and there you won't see it anymore. Okay, and we'll chain one. Let's single crochet in that same spot. And chain 3. In this first opening right here, we're going to do 2 double crochets. Right here, where you can see this ridge of line right here, I want you to place a single crochet. And this is a little edging that we're going to have here. It's going to give it kind of like a triangle effect. So this is going to be our repeat now. Chain 3. And on the other side of this little line here, place 2 double crochets. And since we're really not going row by row, you're going to have to kind of feel it out. So I'm going to, instead of putting a single crochet here, I'm going to go on the other side because this stitch will stop it. So there's my single crochet. See, it's giving a nice little ridge here. One more time, and then I'm going to let you go around. So chain 3. In this case, we'll go ahead and do it in the same spot. 2 double crochets. And then take your double crochet and stretch it down. You can see it's going to come right here to that line in there and make a single crochet. Repeat this around, and I will meet you right here. Remember, when doing these around, the last stitch will be a single crochet as like the first stitch. Here's my completed edging to the flap. After you've got your last single crochet in, cut your yarn and weave in your edges, your tails rather. Here's what our handbag looks like so far. Next, we're going to add some flowers through here so that our little butterfly will be happy. Well, I thought I'd go ahead and make a little flower to show you what we're going to make here. Very simple, very easy flower. And in doing this, we're going to be doing the same thing with our red, pulling from the center and from the outside of our skein. So let's get started. You might want to have a little tail on this because we're going to be starting with a magic circle, and with so many stitches on it, it will get tight, so we need something to pull. So make it so you have about 10 inches and then start to wrap around your hand and go through the center and pull up a loop. And when you pull up that loop, go ahead and yarn over, and that'll be like your first chain here. Notice I have a very long tail here. I have about 10, 12 inches. Okay, so to make our flower, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and into the magic circle, 2 double crochets. And as I said, all of our stitches will go into this magic crochet, our magic circle. Okay, now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch onto our magic circle. And there we have one petal. We're going to repeat this 4 more times. I will show you one more time, and then I'll show you how to pull it all tight. So let's do this once again. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 2 double crochets into the magic circle. There's 1, and here's number 2. Yeah, notice how the yarn likes to play games, thinks it's gonna win. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the magic circle. So we have completed 2 petals. Go ahead and create 3 more, and I'll meet you when you've done that. So did your 5 turn out like mine? Well, here we are at the end. So I'm going to cut a tail here and pull it through my slip stitch, but not tight, not yet. So here's the fun part. Let's tighten this magic circle by pulling our tail. Pull, pull, pull. Like I said, this is the fun part. There we go. Got snagged up. There we go. So go ahead and pull it. Sometimes these things get twisted as you crochet around, so you have to play with them. Bottom line. There. And I pulled it tight. Bring both of the tails to the back. And tie a square knot. Don't cut your threads because we're going to use these to sew them onto our flap. Now we have to play with them a little bit to get them to ease into a flat position. There we go. And since I have 2 of them done, one will go here, one will go here, and the third one will go right here. So make 3 flowers, and I will see you then. I'm giving you a glimpse of what the final look will be like. Here you see we have 1 leaf. We're going to add another leaf over here. So let's get started on making our leaf. Of course I had the end, but the camera's on. Alrighty, so with a little tail, let's make a slip knot. Okay, and we're going to chain double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, space. Did you get that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 5. So skip the first chain, and in the second chain, single crochet. I think I already gave my secret away, which stitches we'll be doing. The next one was a half double crochet. Your last two will be double crochets. And of course the yarn thinks it's gonna show itself again by twisting up in my fingers. Never fails. We gotta laugh with the yarn. Sometimes it just has to show itself. All right, the last thing we're going to do on this is chain 4. 1, 2, actually it's chain 3. And in that first single crochet here, bring your knot over, and we're going to do a slip stitch. And cut yourself a long tail so that you can sew this on. And that completes our leaf. Super simple. That's the idea behind crochet. Keep it simple. So the layout of all of this is as I show. Well, and our little butterfly will be sitting here in the center. So go ahead and sew yours down to the flap, and then we'll go ahead and sew on the straps. I'm cutting through the video here a little quicker. I did not sew on my flowers yet, but I want to finish this video up so that it doesn't take forever for you to follow this tutorial. Thread your needle of all 3 of the yarns, and then right here place it on the inside just to where the first single crochet is, and we're going to start tacking it in. And then cut through and basically do like a weave stitch. Like I said, I think I've been on the camera too long today. So we're gonna weave it in through the bag part and then weave it through the middle of our strap here. You want to do that a couple of times. And this will be my 3rd one going through the strap. And then I will tie it off. Do the same to the other side, and you will have completed your bag. Oops, I hit this strap.